Oh, God.
Hello and welcome to Fools STFC fan. How many episodes do we need to do before you know when I said I'm hitting record, we're recording? Just shouting things out. Anyway, it's a special evening here at Fools Rashid. It's an awards ceremony night. We've got 21 alternative end of season awards to dish out virtually to deserving winners, sponsored by everyone from Ben to KFC, evidently given by the the details I've been given by everyone. And we thank you sincerely for submitting your alternative end of season awards you would like us to hand out. But before we do that, there has been a little bit of news from SM1 today, and it's that Town have announced a new technical director. So let's briefly touch on that with tonight's panel and awards judges, starting with Ben. How are you, buddy?
I'm all right, Stephen. Yeah, I'm well, thanks.
Good.
Looking forward to this evening.
Yes, and me. And you're looking very nice in your shirt there. So
I thought I'd make the effort this evening. I put the smells on, I put a nice little shirt on, and good to go.
Good to hear. In true celebrity style, already changed his outfit once this evening. Good evening, Craig.
Yeah, evening, Fifi. I've gone full lumberjack.
Full lumberjack. We love to see it. And there with his awards, probably for best newcomer and what, sexiest new man. Evening, Mark.
Evening, Fifi. How you doing?
I'm very well, thank you, pal. Pleasure as always.
Thank you.
And they're in full suit and tie. Evening, Ned.
Good morrow.
How are you, sir?
Yeah, very good, thank you. Happy awards day.
Happy
everyone.
awards day to you too. And last but certainly not least, the man, the myth, the legend that is Adam Wood. How are you, pal?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah, I'm not dressed up because I've come straight from the kebab house. So,
as all true award dinners, you know, forget what happens at all these fancy celebrity parties. What people really want is a kebab on an awards night.
I'm one for the people, Fifi. I'm one for the people.
You're a man of the people, that's for sure.
And it's a brand new under new management. I thought I should make a Fools Rush in.
Is this your attempt at getting us some sponsorship? You're just going to name all the chippies in Swindon until someone
Leiden Kebab House. Leiden Kebab House, I think it's called.
You think it's called?
Under new management from today, opened by yours truly, Adam Wood.
Did you cut the ribbon?
Did you?
No, I ate the kebab.
Excellent.
I got the kebab ribbon.
While you're the centre focus of the intros there, Woody, what's your thoughts on the news today about new technical director?
I think it's a great move. I was quite chuffed to see it. I think it's funny. It'd be quite interesting to see what scope of role he has given the slight change in job title. What's he going to be doing differently to what Chorley was doing? Obviously by job description there will be different things, but from a low-level fan perspective, it'd be quite good to know. It does probably give us a little bit of a hint as to what we're looking to replace Garner with. It looks like we'll have a head coach coming in then, in that case, which I think is brilliant. There's a few names that are getting a bit more closely linked now as well, but the guy's got a decent record. The most is it Wigan, the most recent when they won the league? Head of recruitment, I think he was at Wigan. So
data analyst.
Yeah, head of recruitment, data analyst. They all do the same job, really. I think it's a good move. It's good that we've managed to get somebody from a higher division to come down to us.
Yeah.
And it feels like one of those appointments that we might have been thinking about for a while. And I think that's what I quite like about it. It doesn't feel like a rushed appointment.
Willie makes a valid point there, Ben. I think it is a clear indication of the direction in which we're going to be going.
Yeah, it's a plan and some thought, something we've not had really in the past 6, 7, 8 years or so. Lee Power just lived from transfer window to transfer window, getting by on what he could. This one is an actual project, a plan on how the club's going to progress in the future. It's just another stepping stone and getting bigger. Yeah, so it's all good.
Absolutely. And Craig, another point that Willie made, obviously he's come from Wigan where he was head recruitment analyst. I'm just reading was his official title. So when you hear that and hear that he comes from a data analysis background, do you kind of figure we're looking at one of those models where there's a couple of teams that have been documented, this person scores goals, so we will buy them as a striker kind of thing?
Yeah, it sounds that way. I think it's a bold move for a League Two club to go more data driven. That's the way it's done, obviously, in the top leagues all across Europe. But I think it just shows what a progressive, forward-thinking club we are, which I think is what he said in his statement. He was saying how impressed he was with Rob Angus and Clem Morfuni, and the potential of this club and our what we want to do in the future. Like Woody said, he'd done a good job at Wigan beforehand. I think, with the technical director job title, I think he's more or less covering what Ben Chorley did, and probably more, like we say, with the data-driven side. Look, it worked for Brentford when they were in the third division. They're the third tier. Sorry. Their owner, I've forgotten his name now, but he is very much like the Moneyball. If you've seen that film, data,
what a film,
statistics. By the way. Yeah, it's a favourite of mine as well. But yeah, so if we're doing that, then that just shows, that we can, that it's a good thing, I think, and that also transpires into the into transfers as well. So we're more likely to get players that are, go under the radar sort of thing, and could potentially, we could have good sell-on value for that. That's what's taken Brentford to the Premiership. They've got a good model. It's different to ours because they don't have a youth system, but a B team instead. But even so, if we're going along those lines, data, statistics, to not only get the best players in, but bring the best out of the players we currently got. So I think it's a positive thing for the club. Absolutely.
Ned, I hadn't really thought about it until Woody mentioned it. And it's only when someone else says it, you kind of hear it in a different way. But how have we managed to attract someone for, that Wigan have done very well. This season just finished. How have we managed to tell someone that's at that club that Swindon is the right place to come?
Right, I know the answer to this.
Excellent, I knew you would.
So the reason being is because he was on a short-term contract. He was only there for 6 months.
Right.
So he's no longer under contract, which is why we've probably got him, as opposed to having to pay compensation or anything. So we just happen to be in the right position at the right time. So it's very, very lucky in that respect. So looking, I would sort of watched a bit of that Dick Morgan thing earlier on, and then he was saying about the position that Wigan were in, a year ago compared to now is, Ben's gone. Oh, he's back. We're in a much better position now, thankfully. Wigan in a much better position now, thankfully. And I would put it down not solely to him, but with thanks to him. So obviously, let's see what he can do, for a full season or several full seasons. It's very exciting because, as you said, you look at his CV, which is available on what's that recruitment website called? LinkedIn. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. That's absolutely brilliant. As it's already been said, we can rule out a lot of these horrendous managers that have been put forward. There's definitely no chance Sol Campbell's coming now. There's definitely, unfortunately, it probably means it's definitely not Luke Garrard, which is a shame. But at least this way, whoever comes in, head coach, they are expendable, because it's not just him, him and his sole choices, whichever, choices they decide to make, whichever person goes in charge, we can get someone through the door. And if they're not doing it right, then it's a very, very easy decision to get rid of them. So it's all good. I'm very happy, very happy.
I'm glad to hear it. Last but certainly not least, Mark, what's your thoughts on the news, especially after hearing what resembled positivity from the rest of the panel?
Yeah, well, absolutely. I mean, it kind of caught me a little bit left field, to be perfectly honest. When I saw the news break earlier on, I was kind of, who is this guy? I didn't recognise the name. Then I did naturally did the research piece that Ned and everyone else did, to LinkedIn and everything, and realised he was part of that amazing success that Wigan had. And then I kind of got maybe a little bit overly excited. and started thinking, oh, I said we're going to be in the Premier League in the next 5 years, and if this guy hangs around. But then, all joking aside, it kind of links into everything that Clem's been saying about, joining the football side of the club together as a proper business and a proper operation. And this is just another one of those huge jigsaw pieces that comes into it. I mean, let's not forget, Chorley, Garner et al. Were all bought in very last minute. It was a needs must scenario. And to be fair, if you look back on it like that, you can look at it and say, we massively overachieved. Now it's a case of, well, we're getting these pieces in place to really have a go at getting up the leagues. And it's not just about getting out of League Two, it's also about getting out of League One and into the Championship, which starts to sound and feel a little bit more realistic. Now, I guess the icing and the cherry on the cake will obviously be the recruitment. That obviously sounds like it's going to be a mix of, I guess, the Moneyball signing. So we might see some players come in from all over the shop that have had careers, and you might on the face of it think, well, why are they coming here? But obviously statistics and data is where this is all going to be born from. So
on that particular note, the difference there is, if you've got the statistical background, you can kind of see why that's happened. Whereas if you go back even just a couple of years, it very much seems to be, if someone can edit together a decent YouTube video, they'll get a contract.
Yeah,
exactly that. And also, I quite like the fact when you're reading about what he will oversee, because obviously it's overseeing all of football operations. This is taken verbatim from the club's statement about covering recruitment, medical analysis, and the academy. That's a massive job, but also incredibly exciting. So we're talking about the pathway from the youth team into the first team, which is obviously going to be our shining light and beacon if we improve the academy status and everything as well. So it's exciting. I mean, this is really the start of a very golden period for Swindon. It definitely feels like that.
Okay. Just to take a sideways step briefly, and I know you're all very excited to get into the awards, but you make a valid point there, Mark. And Woody, I just wanted to bring you back in, because since we last spoke, there's also been an appointment within the women's team as well, which I know a lot of people online who are far more knowledgeable than me seem quite excited about.
Yeah, sorry, excuse me. So Tom Hartley's been appointed as our director of football, which is, I don't know the full ins and outs in terms of whether it was a direction from the club that they wanted us to go. But it's a great appointment. Tom is very well known in the kind of women's game. He's just finished his UEFA A badge as well. He was over at Oxford United as their assistant manager. And Oxford United are a decent outfit in women's football. And I think it's just a good, it kind of sets up that mirror of the model that, the men's club are having. So it's a very positive appointment. He's already started hitting the ground running in terms of building relationships within the club and, trying to get a philosophy rolled out across all the coaches. So the coaches are focused on their development as well, but also, making sure that the girls and women's teams are, consistent, probably more than anything, and not just treated as, my under 18s, the under 14s, and the reserves just separate teams. They're not. It's going to be, a real good setup going forward. So really exciting appointment for us. Funny enough, he was appointed and it was meant to be announced the day that Chorley resigned. So we actually held off because obviously we thought, well, that's going to look a bit shit, isn't it? Chorley leaves the director of football role, and then the women's appoint the director of football. So, but yeah, no, I'm looking forward to working with him. I think we've got a meeting with him next week. Very respectable guy, and I think it's people like that you need in football, because he's a UEFA A, so he could go and get a paid professional job somewhere. In terms of men's football, he's not. He's one step away from the pro license. So, fair play to him in some ways that he wants to stick. He's left a club where he probably could have earned money. I don't know if he did. And he might be earning here. It's not my place to say, but yeah, it's, he believes that, he's a Swindon fan as well. He's a regular Swindon attendant. So, and his words were, I left Oxford because I want to make a difference at Swindon. And I think we've got a foundation with the women's set up. So hopefully that's maybe that, I reflected myself personally, and I look back at last season and I go, maybe I did make the right choice. Maybe we are going in the right direction as a club on that side of, like we voiced about all the way through, about inclusivity and all of that. So really exciting, really looking forward to working with them.
Good. Excitement and positivity all around is what we like to hear. Let's get on with the awards then, shall we, gents? I know the atmosphere all day has been buzzing, and we have no fewer than 21 awards to distribute out this evening. Thank you again, as I said in the intro, to everyone who submitted suggestions. There were a couple of awards that had multiple requests for. Remember, this is alternative end of season awards. There'll be none of your standard player of the season, young player of the season. We don't do that here. We like to be different. Let's get straight in, shall we? And a little bit of shameless self-promotion. A couple of the awards recommended were podcast related. So we'll attack a couple of those early, if you don't mind, gents. And we'll start with the Shame on You award for reasons not to turn up to do the podcast. I don't know if anyone has a particular nominee they want to put forward. I know that me and Ned particularly are on the same page with this one. But Ben, Craig, you're long-term servants of the pods. Anyone you want to recommend for this one specifically?
Well, there's been a few, hasn't there? A lot have been of Rich. Is it Cold Toothache, I believe, was one. I can't remember who that was.
Yeah. Woody didn't turn up because he had toothache. That's right.
Yeah, Woody was Toothache. I think Rich has turned up with a few shockers, but yeah, Toothache was one of them.
Toothache is the one that stuck out for me when the award got nominated. It was the first one I thought of. It was you as well, Ned?
Yeah, pretty much. And I think there should be a special mention to Kieran. I'm not sure as we should give the reason.
Well, that might crop up later with one of the awards coming, so we'll just save that one for now. So if you guys are in agreement, the first award of the night will go to Swindon Town's double winning. Are you head coach? Is that your official?
No, I'm manager.
Manager. So Swindon's double winning manager is getting the first award of the night for the Shame on You reasons for not turning up to do the podcast award because you had toothache.
Oh, well.
Congratulations,
Well
buddy.
done.
I'd like to thank my parents. I think it's a shock. I think it's a shocking award. I think I'm open to exposure as one of the most highest attendants on the pod. That I'm open to exposure. Everybody else just doesn't fucking show up. At least I gave a reason and wasn't in the middle of the bloody Mediterranean somewhere.
It's nice to see you taking it all in the good spirits these awards are intended, Woody.
That's it. Modesty.
Let's move on to the STFC Twitter Hero of the Season, sponsored by Shithousing. And for me, Baudry, for his post-Port Vale tweets, has been one of the highlights of the season. I don't know if anyone else has a nominee they'd like to put forward. It's important to stress for anyone watching or listening to this, none of the guys here tonight have been briefed on what the awards are. I'm literally throwing them at them to get instant reactions as to who may be nominated. I'm the only one that's had a chance to put any real thought into this. But yes, Twitter Hero of the Season. Anyone want to put anyone else forward?
Well, we've got for a brief stint, not for one of them, which was pretty controversial, but I think Harry McCurdy, when he...
Harry McCurdy in social media does not get STFC Hero of the Season for anything, Ben.
No, but his Mr. Frosty thing, attack on one of
his attack on Christian.
His war with Christian was quite amusing. Probably not for Christian at the time.
Yeah.
But I hope he's over that. Sorry, Christian. But yeah, that was quite an amusing one. So
no, it's a fair nominee. Is there a third nominee from anybody?
No, I think it's Boundary all day long.
I think Boundary should win it, though.
Yeah? Are we all in favour of that?
He's not personally attacking anyone, just a fan base.
Congratulations to Frenchie on his first end of season Fools Rush In end of season.
Are you going to send him something?
If you want to start putting some money into the podcast, then I'll happily start getting some trophies made up.
Rich can do
the
it.
Bank of Fifi is one.
The Bank of Fifi, sponsored by Rich.
Yeah.
I've got a laminator. I'll do him a certificate.
Do a little certificate.
Little certificate, send it to him. You can do an acceptance speech.
One of the most common awards requested, in fact, I'll do the two most commonly requested awards. First one is for Beard of the Year. I had 4 different requests for this under different guises from different people. So Beard of the Year. Now, Fools Rushing generally, most of our regulars are sporting fine beards in one description or another, but we can't deny the likes of Johnny Williams and other superstars. And you know, you might pick someone who's played against Swindon Town. So come on, lads, let's hear your nominations for Beard of the Year. Let's start with you, Ned.
Well, God, I mean, there's such a selection, isn't there? Joe Seymour.
Joe's is a cracking beard.
It was a really strong contender. But again, Williams, I mean, they're the same person. In all
They are essentially the same person.
But yeah, I mean, any of the beards on this panel tonight, apart from mine, are very much worthy of winning.
Oh,
Woody?
We can't choose Chris Blackburn anymore, can we? Because he
No.
had a great beard, didn't
He did have a great beard.
Chris Blackburn.
he?
I personally,
I do. Oh,
sorry, Willie. Go on.
I was gonna say I do like Johnny Williams' beard. I think he's got a pretty, because he's got such a bold head as well. I think his beard is actually awesome, and because he's such a nice guy, it's like the nice guy with the beard. So it's got to be Johnny Williams for me. Yeah.
Okay, Craig, you wanted to throw one in?
Well, I'll go for one of the Swindon Town staff member. I'll go for Lee Peacock's beard and moustache.
Strong beard.
Awesome. But to be honest, Lee Peacock would look awesome, whatever, you know, with a bloody paper bag over his head, to be fair. So
Sorry, as Woody sort of slipped you a little note here to say I can't keep voting for Peacock. Can you do it, please?
got a proper man crush going now, I'll tell you. But yeah, I'd like to nominate Lee Peacock.
It's a strong category already. How about you, Mark? Anyone else you want to throw in?
I was going to go with Johnny Williams. That was the obvious choice, to be perfectly fair. But yeah, it's, and quite rightly, it's the bald head that does it, without a shadow of a doubt.
And BTB?
Well, again, like Johnny Williams' shiny head and pointy beard. I'd also like to say Fifey's beard's iconic. He had t-shirts made out of it. It leads the campaign for the Fools Rush In podcast. Yeah, Fifey's has got an iconic beard, but Johnny Williams is ginger, so
okay.
It wins.
So are we in agreement then that that Johnny Williams comes in first, Lee Peacock second, and just about every member of Fools Rush In third?
Yeah, sounds good.
Congratulations, Johnny Williams.
Well,
We know what's going on
Johnny
next.
fucking Williams.
We know what's going on our
fucking
next
Williams.
t-shirts. Next t-shirts, we just need a beard. Everybody's beards.
Everyone's beard.
Great idea.
Just a blank space.
The second most popular or second most requested award is sponsored by our very own BTB, and it's for Timpot Club of the Season. Ben, over the course of the season, must have called 6 or 7 of our league rivals Timpot in one guise or another. And I was asked who the most Timpot club are we have played this year. Now, I'm pretty confident I know where this is going to go, but let's do it fairly. Ben, who is the most Timpot club we've played this season?
Well, I'd never actually said this club was Timpot until we've actually played them the after. We've had many contenders, from Barrow to, who's that? I didn't play Accrington. Who's that team? There's loads of them. So Timpot, I can't even remember who they are.
Oh, Timpot, I can't even remember them all.
You mean Salford?
Salford, they're another Timpot
Crawley.
club. Crawley, there's another. That was the club I was thinking of, and that fan came on and gave it back to me. But the most Timpot club of them all, Port Vale.
It's an understandable vote, and one that I'm sure won't be singular. So you putting Port Vale forward as your nomination for Timpot Club of the Season?
Overreaction, and their just how their fans are, and how over the playoff game they've treated it like a World Cup final, and they've basically tried to kickstart a rivalry because of us, because McCurdy doesn't like them.
And
We
because of
played
that,
8 games for them, and they've taken it to a new level.
and because of that knobhead on Twitter that posted the empty trophy room.
Yeah, absolutely.
even though we've got double the amount of trophies they have.
So, Woody, are you echoing Port Vale as Timpot Club of the season?
No.
Ooh.
Only because, like, I don't want to make it sound bitter for us against Port Vale, because that's all it will come out as now.
Yeah, but I'm bitter.
Yeah, you can be bitter. Well, you know that I don't really like calling teams Timpot, because I'm all for having, the smaller clubs, advance as much as they can.
You can use the term Timpot however you wish. Timpot doesn't necessarily have to refer in your essence as a small club.
Yeah.
You can even change the word if it makes you feel better.
No, I'll tell you what. No, I am going to go with Port Vale. No, and it's not because of the way their fans acted. It's because of it's the way their fans acted, but not to do with the final playoff game. It's because the fact that they moaned that they didn't get the allocation they wanted, and then they still didn't sell out. The fact that they had massive empty seats when we played them at their place. They had like blocks of empty seats. The fact that they got more people to a Robbie Williams concert than they do to a playoff game and to a playoff final. So that for me is why they're Timpot, not because of necessarily the way they acted after the game. It's the way that they think they're a lot bigger than they are.
Okay. Mark, your vote for Timpot Club of the Year?
Forest Green Rovers, absolutely a sham of a football club in terms of location. There's nothing there for the away fans. The home kit is dreadful. Their attendances are awful. There's absolutely no banter with their fans at all. I mean, even after they won the title, and I was trying so hard to get some sort of fishing going on online. Absolutely nothing in terms of comments. I mean, if that's not Timpot.
It's very fair.
All 7 of them was probably on holiday at the time, I should imagine.
I mean, what was that video clip? They won the title and they went over to, or they won promotion, they went over to their fans and the camera panned round and there were about 7 of them.
The manager was given the big one, wasn't he? And it was about
massive celebration on the pitch and pat round, there's nobody there.
and that was his family.
Ned, your nomination for Timpot Club of the Year, please.
Well, my Timpot Club of the Year up until the end of the season was Forest Green. Head and shoulders above anyone else. Oh, Dale Vince and his blooming vegan munching army. Yeah. But Port Vale have absolutely owned that award. And it's not just the fans, but the players and the fans. And let's be honest, the whole fucking club. All of it, they're all Timpot. They all blooming do one.
They were singing about Dion Keown, saying fuck Dion Conroy, weren't they, on the coach on the way home? And they got blasted on Twitter. And they were saying, what's Dion Conroy done to him? Because he got headbutted by their manager. I understand the McCurdy songs, but calling him a wanker because he received a headbutt.
We can see where this is going, Craig, but last but not least, is there any further nominations you'd like to put forward?
No, and I'm sorry, Mark, but there should only be one nomination because I don't want to dilute the power of this award, I'm afraid. But yeah, it's got to go to Port Vale, really. Well, I think so. To be fair, in all seriousness, Salford are a close second because they've just basically thrown money at it for a club that's hardly getting any increase in attendances. And I do like Gary Neville, but he's a bit of a hypocrite when it comes to the ownership of his football club, where he's sacking managers every 2 minutes and everything. So they are a bit Timpot because they reckon they could get into the Championship, which, all right, we've had Yeovil and teams like that go up there, but for me, it had to be Port Vale, which, as I mentioned on the Port Vale post-mortem, it's the only club that I've referred to as Timpot this season, whereas Ben's referred to everybody. Ben's named 22 out of the 24 League Two clubs as Timpot. So,
and we had to refrain from him calling Swindon Timpot at one point.
Yeah. So so I think it should go to Port Vale and only Port Vale. No second place.
On behalf of everyone at Fools Rush In, congratulations Port Vale on being Timpot Club of the season.
I can have it. idiots. There you go. I regret that now. Sorry, I'm gonna go back.
Okay, let's move on. We've got a positive and a negative STFC award. It's almost like a his and hers award. So we can do both at the same time. Being requested for Chant of the Season, that's the positive one, and most hated comment or shout from supporters of the season. We can do both at the same time if you like. Mark, you've got quite a big smile on your face there. Is there one in particular come to mind for you for either category?
Yeah, my least favourite chant, and I've hated it for years, but even more so in the last season or so, is "Get it forward," and the anger that goes with that. It winds me up no end, and I'm sure Woody will appreciate it as well as a coach. It's one of the things that you hate hearing, because it encourages nothing. It doesn't give the players any confidence to do the difficult thing, and you want your players to make the difficult decisions on the pitch, not the easy option, which is to give the ball away. And all you're going to do by kicking the ball forward is concede possession to the opposition. That's not how you play football, and it really winds me up. I never understand. Get it forward. Why?
Fair enough.
Why?
Anyone else with a negative one they'd like to throw in? Woody, maybe?
I think that, I submitted to that category, I think, as well. And my exact response was, forward! Forward! It winds me up. It really does. I'm with Mark fully on that. It really does wind me up. It just doesn't offer anything.
Craig?
Yeah. Shoot! It's like these are professional footballers. They know when to shoot. All right, yeah, I'm thinking in my head, go on, shoot, have a shot at everything. But it's has anyone else noticed that this season? That you hear the crowds, they like in one, they go shoot. It's like Jesus fucking Christ.
It's almost up with when they have a shot and it goes wide or the keeper makes a save and you get I could have scored that. Really? Really?
I didn't anticipate this award making the panel so animated. Ben, have you got a least favourite shout or comment of the season?
Yeah, just the usual. Everyone's just said it. Shoot that, and forward, shoot forward.
Ned, deciding vote. Are we giving it to shoot or are we giving it to forward?
It was mine. Was my thought immediately was forward. Okay. Forward! Oh, come on, mate.
So for everyone, on behalf of Fools Watching, for everyone who shouts forward, please stop it. But you have won it an award tonight, so well done.
Well done. Forward.
As for Chant of the Season, has anyone had a particular favourite at any point?
I've got quite one that I think would be quite controversial.
Go on.
And the reason is because when it first started coming out, it was rather shit. But at Port Vale, it was amazing. And that genuinely is the Swindon are massive everywhere we go. And I know it's not a great chant, but when you've got literally the whole stand at Port Vale was singing it, and I mean kids and everything, it was really good. And I think it just went down really well. And that's the only reason why it'll get my nomination, just because I just think it's one that really grew on me over the last couple of months.
Well, young Rich is obviously on holiday and therefore wasn't able to make awards night. Possibly a nominee for Shame on You award, being on holiday instead of being at the awards. But he's a big fan of the Ellis chant, so I'm going to put that forward for him. He loves it a lot. Ned, any particular chant caught your ear this season?
Well, you just stole it. I was going to say, because Rich isn't here, I was going to go with this Alessandro one, but
okay,
yeah.
No, fine. Ben,
Alessandro, Egbo or Kane Kessler's Starman. That was a good one. I was singing the FA Cup one at Warsaw, full voice. That was brilliant. So I loved Starman as well, and the Johnny Esther one. But his name is Johnny Esther. Plays like Iniesta.
Do you know what I love about that one?
Never gives the ball away.
What I love about that one is every time we sung it, he then fucking gave the ball away.
He loved it. Rochdale, we were singing it, and he was loving it, and he kept telling the fans, like dancing and encouraging us. He loved it. So,
Okay.
but then it was only sung a few times away from home. Never catched on at home, which is a shame.
Well, there's a couple of nominees there, Craig. Is any of them your favourite, or have you got another one you'd like to add?
I've got another one I'd like to add.
Okay.
It's the Steve Finney song after he passed away. Just
Oh.
hearing that again.
Oh,
Hearing that
yeah,
again
good
brought back memories of that, promotion winning season under Steve McMahon, and that was in my heyday as a young teenager watching Swindon, and I always remember that song, and it was really nice that, considering probably the majority of our fans, probably weren't even around then, and they were singing the name happily. So yeah, for me, the Steve Finney song, definitely.
Yeah, that gets my vote.
Yeah, actually, Steve Finney song. I remember that. That's a good shout.
Okay. Looks like the panelists are all sort of circling around one choice. But Mark, do you want to back any of those particular horses, or have you got another one you'd like to add?
Yeah, I've got a dark horse that I'd like to throw into the mix.
Okay.
And obviously it's a bit of a variation on one of the chants we've already heard, but I quite enjoyed Port Vale at Timpot everywhere they go.
I think start singing that next season, even though we're not playing.
Well, no, because then Swindon will be winning the Timpot Award if they start chanting Port Vale songs and they're not even in the same league.
That'd be Gillingham. Gillingham next season would be saying we ate Swindon.
Oh yeah,
everywhere
we've
they
got
go
Gillingham
next
to
season.
kick off again with next year, so we've got to start that one again.
Well, based on all the facts presented to me, I think I'm gonna go with Craig, if that's all right with everyone.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
Well, there we go. Chant of the season, noted for the official announcement via.
Rich would have also said the Tyree Simpson song as well. I know he's a big fan of that one.
Indeed, and if he would have also liked an Odd Mayo chant to be nominated because he's a big fan there as well. We know that. Let's move on to, and this doesn't strictly, again, have to be Swindon Town, but if you can at least keep it loosely related, then please do. Meltdown of the season. Very tough category, this one. And because I'm the sort to be quite self-deprecating, so that you lot can't take the piss, I'm going to nominate myself for how I completely lost my shit after Leyton Orient. I went on about a 30-minute WhatsApp anger rant that then ended up recording that same night and calling out Ben for all sorts.
He did.
So I'm going to nominate myself for that award. Craig, any particular meltdowns this season entertained you?
Well, I mean, yeah, like you said, yours was pretty special, mate. That was, yeah. I mean, I was like, you was attacking Ben, and I was just like, I had my virtual popcorn, watching what was going on. Poor old Ben, but
he was wrong.
There's been so many, ain't there? I think we've all had our own meltdowns sort of over the last season, and it's been quite a good one. I mean, Christ, the amount of meltdowns we had season before under Sheridan and Lee Power, that was bloody absolute. Yeah, there was loads there, but I think I'd like to put forward mine in the Port Vale post-mortem where I tore into their fans, which is, I don't really melt down very often.
Are we all just going to nominate ourselves in the
I think we are, yeah. Although I say that, I'm probably going to do something daft and end up voting for yours anyway, mate. But yeah, I'd like to throw mine out there.
Woody, meltdown of the season.
Definitely yours, without a doubt. Mainly because I was on that pod as well, I think, if I remember rightly. And I was just sat there thinking, is this ever going to end? It's absolute Fifi, other side of Fifi that we've never seen before. Like, even when you've bailed people out from silly things that they've got up to, and you didn't even have a meltdown about that. But when Ben has a difference of opinion, because we've lost to Leyton Orient, you absolutely destroyed the poor guy. But yeah, definitely, that's all day. That was when I saw that, because it was one of the old Swindon Town women's chairperson, the vice chairperson that put it forward. That's the first thing I thought of. So that gets my vote.
Okay. Mark?
Oh, it's a tricky
one. You
one.
can't vote for me because you weren't in the panel then.
No. Well, I mean, if we keep it football related and not trying to be too downbeat, but I think our penalty performance at Port Vale was probably the biggest meltdown of the season, to be perfectly honest.
Fair. No, absolutely fair. Ben?
I was just trying to think. Now, if there's any examples, I'm just trying to think of any particular meltdowns. It's not like anyone's just like dropped everything and run away abroad or anything like that. I'm just trying to think of anything that crosses my mind. Quite nice. Maybe something like Gibraltar or something would be lovely to do that. But meltdown, what? Yeah. Obviously Fifi just completely going mental at me.
He was mentally
You can't like you were a victim, Ben.
On the way with my back to the car with my dad. That was quite amusing.
Ned, as most people seem to be voting for me, Ned, before I come to you to see if there's an alternative nomination, I'm just going to put one forward, and it's a more recent one. I'm going to say 85% of the Swindon Town fan base on news that Garner was leaving. That was one hell of a meltdown while we were recording. It was hilarious. But go on, Ned. I've put another one forward there, so please.
I'm just trying to remember the bloke's name. Sorry, I wanted to chuck a new one in the mix as well.
Okay.
But I just got to try.
Whilst you're thinking, Ned, I'll interrupt you just quickly because I know it's not right now. But can we also have a special shout out to the Swindon Town fans every time we lose? Because the meltdowns online are amazing.
You can't beat Swindon Town
You
fans.
can't beat
comical
Swindon fans
content.
when we lose.
We're probably no different to every other fan base, to be fair, on social
But we
media.
just see it.
Yeah.
We just see it. We do it so well. I'm sorry, Ned. Continue.
No, you're not sorry.
You say it. Yeah, you say it every time, but you absolutely don't mean it. That's it. Roland Menezes, his performance when he played against us. You know, he started off, he looked really solid and strong, and then all of a sudden just down tools. God knows what happened. I'm not sure whether he's just realised he's just lost his winning lottery ticket or something. I don't know what he's done, but he just had a breakdown and then just played the worst defensive display for maybe 60 minutes in a game that I've ever seen. So
there's a couple of standout nominees there. As I am a nominee, I'll stay out of it. Woody, do you want to take the lead on deciding who wins that particular award?
I think it's got to be your meltdown, Fifi. It's the most out of character.
Out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere. Absolutely hilarious. We're still talking about it now. So it's got to be. Of all the things, whatever I achieve in life, winning meltdown of the season will be one of my most prized accomplishments. Well done, Stephen Fife.
Fifi, I mean, you know, someone had to be a surrogate Christian towards Ben, so it had to be you, mate.
Let's move on to quite an interesting one, actually. And I agree with the person who put this nomination forward as to what I think it will be. We're going for fan moment of the season. And again, doesn't necessarily have to be a Swindon fan. I'm in agreement. So Mark, you put this one forward yourself, and I'm going to back your play here. So please tell us your nomination for this particular award.
Yes, it comes from the Manchester City game, and this piece of footage has been part of many sort of sport meme compilations on YouTube that my eldest loves to watch. And I thought, I recognise that stadium, I recognise that moment, and it's been done to death. But there was this one moment where the press guys are wearing their jackets and it says "press" on the back, and one of the fans just leans over, walks over to him, just presses him on the back, and it's just become a huge meme on YouTube and TikTok and everything on those lines. So yeah, congratulations. I mean, that's a fantastic achievement, I think.
Nice pun as well there. Well done. So we've got the Man City fan for pressing the high vis. Anyone else got a fan moment of the season?
I was wondering where you're going there, Mark, with the Man City. Man City. I was thinking, steady on. We got in trouble over that game. Yeah, I've got a personal one though, but it's a bit eggy. It's
It's fine.
No, it was when I took the youngest to his first game at the start of the season. And like it's just turning up and him scoring his little face when you watch all the County Ground erupt for the first time, I thought that was having a little moment with him was quite good. But that's my little personal one.
Oh, tough choice already. The sentimental vote or the comedic vote. Ned?
I've got two.
Ooh,
Now
okay.
that reminds me. So, Man City game again. Obviously, it was on Twitter as well. But that moment when that lad with Down syndrome did a full length of the pitch, and then got a hug from Walker.
Yes,
That was one of the best moments ever. But also as well, sorry, on a funny note, I'm not sure which game it was. It might have been Carlisle. I've got a feeling. No, it wasn't. I don't think it was Carlisle. But it's when Harry McCurdy scored and they ran across to the away fans, and then a disabled fan ran into the barriers. Oh, that was the funniest thing.
Oh.
You just see him like going for it.
We've certainly got some strong nominations already, and there's still 2 people to cast votes. Craig?
Good.
Yeah, I think Mark. I've seen that video that Mark was talking about, and that's I love silly, stupid, simple little jokes like that. It's my kind of humour. So yeah, I'm with Mark 100% on that one.
Okay, Woody?
Well, I don't think I've seen the one that Mark's on about, but I think that
How
I
have
had
you
seen
not
it.
seen it?
I don't know. I might have passed it, but but if I had seen it, it'd probably
Can
be that one.
someone, while we do the next award, can someone WhatsApp Woody the video, please, of the Man City fan at the county grounds?
Ed's on it. I can see.
No, I'm not on it.
Yeah. Apart from that, really, until Ned mentioned, I didn't really have one, but yeah, the Harry McCurdy one, I remember that now. Yeah, so I think if it's a fan moment I've seen, it's the Harry McCurdy one where I think it was Carlisle. I thought that was brilliant. I did think that was brilliant.
Well, it was a brilliant moment, no question. But by one vote, I think the Man City fan with the press content wins this particular award. So congratulations to him.
Worthy winner.
I've found the video here, Woody. It's coming to you now.
Share it. Come on, let's go take.
Yeah,
let's go take on it. Let's play it.
What, actually on this?
Let's share it, baby.
I don't know if we're allowed to do that, are we?
No, you won't, Fifi. Because it was on Sky, wasn't it?
Probably. Well,
I wouldn't do it just in case, because the video could get taken down.
Because Sky are always watching our
Copyright.
podcast.
Yeah, but it's done automatically, isn't it? It's I wouldn't put it on there.
Well, new award, shit house of the season for Sky.
Yeah.
Going to ruin our pod.
Okay, so fan moment to the Man City supporter. Let's move on then to shock result of the season. One of the more serious awards. Swindon Town shock result of the season. You don't necessarily have to have been there, but it normally adds to the surprise if you are. Mark, let's come to you first for this one.
Well, it was probably the game of the season for me, really. I wasn't expecting to see such a complete performance from us, but that 5-0 home win over Walsall, without a shadow of a doubt, it was a bit of a shock result. I know Walsall weren't particularly playing well at that time. I wouldn't have said we were at our finest at that particular stage of the season, but what a performance. What a game. Every goal was absolutely fantastic. Mm-hmm. And it was a question of what a night to be a Swindon fan. I haven't felt like that for many, many years. It was just, a clean sheet, phenomenal.
Very, very good nomination. Craig?
Well, I mean, there was quite a few shock results where we played games at home that we shouldn't have lost, but I mean, there's quite a few there. But for me, I'm thinking more for the Scunthorpe away at the beginning of the season, because I honestly didn't think we would get anything. I mean, all right, Scunthorpe weren't predicted to do well, but we just had no idea where we were as a club or as a team. So for me, it wasn't more of a shock, but I was pleasantly surprised that we got a result there, and then we just went from strength to strength after that. So yeah, for me, it'd be Scunthorpe away.
Okay, Ben?
Yeah, as Mark said, the 5-0 that felt a bit like I was sat next to Woody at the time. There's a goals getting it just reminded me of the Paolo era when we were smashing everyone 5-0, 4-0 every week. And if we kept a foot on the gas, we'd have scored 8 or 9. Because we made subs and we took a foot off. It was just a complete performance. My own personal shock performance was completely a little bit honest. And when I actually believed that we could go up was the 2-1 win at Forest. Home to Forest. I'm not in Forest.
2-1 win at Forest?
Forest Green. And winning at Forest Green. Not that the 2 up playing so well at 2 up. But digging in and defended the way we did for the last hour of the game. With only 10 men, when we're just getting absolutely battered for the majority of that, and we did something that I thought would capitulate, and we didn't, and that actually gave me belief that we could break into the top 6, and we did, and the rest is history. But I would probably go Walsall just because I wasn't expecting that kind of win at all.
Okay, Ned.
I mean, Walsall was certainly top 2 for me, but my biggest one, and by quite a distance as well, was Northampton. I went there with my nephew, and in the sort of disabled section in the town end, and I broke the chair. I jumped up so many times, I broke the chair. So apologies, Son and Town groundsman or whoever it is who takes care of the chairs. But yeah, that was.
Send the bill to.
No.
Even 5.
But that was incredible. I remember watching that, just like, what the hell is going on, but yeah, that was really good. That was my best.
Woody?
Yeah, I was going to say the same as Ned by quite a distance, because the fact that we went 2-1 down in that game as well, and Northampton were all over us really for the first half. And then obviously that was the game that McCurdy got 4, wasn't it? And I think, to be fair, it wasn't even necessarily the fact that we came back and won 5-2, over the game. It was the fact that we came back to 5-2 within 10 minutes of them scoring their second goal. So yeah, absolutely, yeah, that by a country mile, because I genuinely think it was one of the results that really helped us get into the playoffs.
Okay, so it's pretty much a toss-up then between the Walsall win and Northampton. So taking everything again into account, I think I will gift the award to Northampton. The victory over Northampton takes award for shock result of the season. So congratulations to the team that got that result on the day. Let's do a bit more shameless self-promotion then, as there were a lot of podcast-related award nominations, starting with the Jerky McJerkface Frozen Solid Award. Really only one nomination for me in this one. Ned, do you want to take the lead on this particular one? Yes or no?
Oh well, there's literally only
Wonder
one.
who gets this one.
Well, I suppose there was a few moments that Kieran had of awful signal, so you could probably say Kieran's a nominee. Yeah, but yeah, there's only one clear winner. I don't even need to say it, do I?
So are we giving the award to Woody, or are we giving it to Virgin Media?
Well, it was sponsored by Virgin, wasn't it?
It was, yes. It's the Jerky McJerkface Frozen Solid Award, sponsored by Virgin Media.
Yeah.
Woody's Wi-Fi.
Woody's Wi-Fi, I think, unanimously claims the Jerky McJerkface Frozen Solid Award.
Well done.
He looks happy. He's happy with that.
We better have fucking best tactical analysis as one of these fucking reports as well. I would like to thank Lenovo, because it's actually Lenovo, not Virgin Media. Virgin Media have just given me a decent discount, so I'll be nice to them for the minute. But yeah, thanks, you twats.
Right, so Woody's won 2 awards reactive aggressively, yet I won Meltdown of the season. At least I took it gracefully. Okay, well, here's Woody. Here's your chance, perhaps, to get your own back on a fellow panelist. Let's go for the "Spit It Out Takes Far Too Long to Tell a Story" award. Anyone in particular you would like to nominate here?
There's 2 nominees. Just to make it interesting.
I wonder if one of them's the same one I'm going to do, because the winner's obvious.
Well, the other nomination is Rich.
Oh,
because,
okay.
Just because sometimes I think, beyond past me, sometimes I think he takes a long time to get to the point. But by far the clear winner, and because he'll tell a story and then he still won't answer the fucking question, is Mr. Big Time.
Yeah.
It's Mr. Big Time Ben. I'm not interested in anybody else's nominations.
Craig, would you like to nominate anyone for this particular award, or are you happy with BTB claiming his first Fools Rush In trophy?
No, absolutely not. I'm going to go for Ned. Anyone seen his report on Jerome Sinclair will know what I mean.
Because my other nomination was for Ned every time he wants to get a transfer.
Mark, we'll send you that video, mate. It's I did a video on it actually. It's on the YouTube page, isn't it?
Oh,
The Ned report, isn't it? Fifi.
Yeah.
It's on there. Just look for the Ned report on the channel page, and you'll know what I mean. But yeah, and in fact, actually, Rich does one of his best lines on that one as well. To be fair, so yeah.
Mark, you're one of the obviously the newer members of the panel, so you won't have the in-depth historical knowledge of what we used to be like compared to the slick professional outfit we are now. So in your short-term experience, who do you think deserves the Spit It Out award?
Rich.
Yes.
I think Rich. I've never, and I'm going to be honest here. There was one, I can't remember what he was talking about, but I kind of got lost in my own thoughts on one occasion because it just, and then I came back to it and I still couldn't work out where we were with the conversation. So I was hoping you weren't going to come to me and ask me for an opinion because I had no idea where we were. So just for that moment alone, it's making me get sweaty now just thinking about it.
Ned, who would you like to nominate?
Well, I'm not going to nominate myself just because that's not what I do, but the missus would happily nominate me. Yeah, my nominations would certainly go to Rich and to BTB as well, for sure.
Okay.
It's funny because every time you point at, it's just looking at Fifi on my screen.
I know. I think somewhere along the line,
Fifi.
Ned's orders got wrong because every time he's pointing at Ben, he's pointing at me.
Oh no! I thought we arranged it earlier. For God's sake.
Has everyone had a chance? Ben, have you nominated yet?
I've not nominated yet.
Okay, who would you like to nominate, Ben?
Hold on, he's
I would like to nominate Rich because I totally agree with Mark occasionally. When he goes up, he goes off on a little tangent sometimes. I don't know what he's.
And just to let you know, I'm going for a drink. 1 second.
And the other one is Ned.
Well, taking everything into account, I agree that there are some, I didn't realise how many nominations Rich was going to get for this, if I'm honest. Ned was clearly in the running, but without question, Ben Ben can take an hour to tell a story. So I'm giving you your first Fools Rush In award, Ben.
Hey, well done, Ben.
Can I just say,
For those watching, it's all about the off-camera with Ben as well.
Yeah.
It's all about the off-camera.
We will generally stay on for a good hour and a half after a record just chatting, and an hour of that will be Ben's one story of the week.
Fifi, you're noting down who's got these awards for next season, yeah?
Yeah.
So we'll see if Ben retains the title.
I paint a picture with every story. That's all I'm saying. If I was a novelist, I'd be a bestseller.
That's the thespian in you, mate, isn't it?
Best darling, sweetie. Yes.
Let's move on to mascot of the season. No guesses who's asked for this to be nominated as a category, but it's been nominated nonetheless. Do we think Rockin' Robin has been mascot of the season, or do we know of another mascot who's perhaps been a little bit more entertaining?
Well, Billy Bantam, isn't it?
Billy Bantam.
Billy
I hope
Bantam.
that Rockin' though does step up his game and put him in his place next season.
Can we do different leagues?
Sure,
Yeah.
why not?
Yeah.
There are no
The,
rules with Fools Rushing.
Luton's mascots. They
Oh,
got one boy, one girl dressed up as, because obviously they called the Hatters and they got the hats on. There's this funny video on YouTube where there's this big guy, he's shouting abuse at them, and then they both go to him and they're rubbing their bellies and going like this, they're eating too much. Absolutely brilliant. And everyone's pissing themselves laughing. He thinks he's being the big man having a go at them, and they just absolutely destroy him. It's so funny. It's the funniest thing I've seen a mascot do with an opposition crowd. But yeah, that one for me, the Hatters mascots.
Okay, Mark?
I'll tell you who it isn't. And it isn't it's definitely not that squirrel we had at the Canada. Another poor excuse. No, I'm going to be loyal. I love Robin. I love, I can't have a word said against him. And if no one else is going to, as a Swindon fan's going to nominate him, I'm going to have to put me hand in the air and say Rockin' Robin gets it for me. I always get a high five off of him, and he's always good with my kid as well.
Okay.
Is that because the old Rockin' Robin is also now the director of football at Swindon Town Women's?
Woody, anyone else you would like to nominate?
To be fair, Rockin' Robin has been good this year, I think, to be totally honest. But yeah, just because the pure banter he can bring when he hasn't got his face on, Billy Bantam, I reckon he's pretty funny.
Congratulations to Billy Bantam on winning mascot of the year. That brings us on quite nicely, I suppose, to the Be Our Guest award. There's a very Beauty and the Beast set of awards themed sent to me, and the Be Our Guest award.
Say it all.
Hang on, I'm gonna have to get my phone out to remember it all.
Come on.
This isn't good for recording, me having to go back and find a message.
It's worth it.
Hey, I won't tell a story, but I'm told I could go on too much.
The Beauty and the Obese Award, Lumiere's Be Our Guest on our pod, you were the best. Gong goes to.
Sorry, what was the award? What is it?
I missed that. Again.
It basically it's loosely translated to favourite guest we've had on the pod this season.
Right.
We've been very fortunate to have an array of excellent guests from Cy, who carried on joining us from last season and was telling us all about not just Colchester, but he told us all about what he was getting up to within disability football. He even joined us, if you remember, from the hospital for one episode. We had Julian, who came on, did a fantastic episode about Leyton Orient, and he's continued to message us and was very disappointed for us when we didn't make it to the playoff final. We've had a large array of fantastic guests this season. It's very difficult for me to pick a favourite, I'll be honest. I normally tell you lot to get off the fence. I think I might sit on the fence for this one and let you lot decide who wins the Be Our Guest award. Ned, who's been your favourite guest this season?
My favourite guest, and it's not by a country mile, but it is by a distance, because I rate the bloke. I really like him. His own fans don't like him, but I like him. But I
suppose like the people that watch our podcast.
But Chewy, he's just a legend. I really like him as a bloke. His stories are fantastic. He's got so many stories, and they're all worth listening to as well. So he's my
doesn't take
favorite.
an age like Ben.
Exactly, he's very quick and to the point.
Woody, who wins your fan or guest of the season?
Yeah, Chewy was really good, so he'd definitely be up there. But I can't remember what team he was representing though. But the lads who basically pulled all of our quotes when we called his club Timpot.
Crawley.
Ruben the Crawley
Is it
fan.
Ruben? Was it Crawley? Yeah, I thought it was Crawley.
He came straight in at Ben because he kept calling Crawley Timpot.
And he kept pulling out all these things. And when he said that he had a few quotes, I thought it's all going to be what Ben said. And then he actually pulled out something that I said. So I think because it kind of matches kind of the ethos and we're a bit banterous, we're a bit of fun. I actually think it would be him because I think that was quite a funny episode, to be fair.
Mark, in the interest of fairness, I will let you have this one off if you want to, but I know before you became a panelist, you did watch the episode. So if there was a particular fan you wanted to nominate from what you watched, you're more than welcome to.
It's Liam, isn't it? Is the Bradford?
Yeah.
I absolutely, I could listen to him for hours. He's brilliant. He's got all the banter. He's got all the chat. He's got quips aplenty. He's just a delight to listen to. So from the pods I've listened to, he's the one that's a standout candidate for me personally. Obviously, everyone's their own opinions, but for me, he was brilliant. Very
popular choice. Craig?
Yeah, I mean, Si was really good. He was our first guest, wasn't he?
First ever guest.
So that was quite a it's not an easy thing to do and everything for him to come onto our pod, and he was really good. He's really good with the banter. Like Woody said, Ruben, he was good. Very. Yeah, I enjoyed. I don't think I was on that one, but I enjoyed watching that video. But yeah, like a few others have said, Liam. Yeah, he just. I mean, Ruben and Si have all added value to our pod overall and to each episode they've been on. Definitely.
What I would say to Si's credit, if you think back, do you remember the predictions episode was just that we were still trying to work out if we had a squad together. We must have recorded for about an hour and a half.
Yeah,
and a good hour and 15 of this was on will we have a squad, and Si sat there through the whole thing, bits, and then came in with his predictions at the end.
Yeah, that was one hell of a effort on Si's part, which is, again, that was one of the reasons why he was and being the original sort of first guest on our pod. But yeah, Liam, definitely, he's hilarious, and he's quite good at dishing out the banter and everything. So yeah, Liam for me.
If you haven't already, be sure to check out Liam's podcast as well. It's very good listening. Obviously, there's a lot of Bradford on there, but there's a lot of League Two fans from all over now really getting involved, and it's great value listen. Ben, Liam for you as well, or someone else?
Yeah, well, there's three, obviously. Si. No, I believe Si, when he was in hospital, I think his wife was having a baby.
Yes, she was.
Yeah, he was. So he actually dedicated.
The effort that boy puts into our podcast is unreal.
Whilst he was becoming a father, he was distant, honest. But I don't know what his partner was thinking about at the time. But hang on a second, love.
Divorce.
Keep your legs closed. I've got to talk to these Swindon fans for the next hour and a half.
Should have said he had a toothache.
Yeah, that's taken a piss even by my standards. So that's pretty good. So he's one. Obviously Ruben as well, because he probably had the most satisfying one for him. Because I, for one, rinsed Crawley. I thought we would absolutely I thought we'd thrash them after Bradford. I thought we'd take them to the cleaners, and I didn't rate Crawley. They weren't in very good. And I just rinsed him, and I just said,
"We threatened to string you up for the Magic Roundabout."
Yeah, and he came on, and he had a big old grin on his face. I think it's the last time we had an away fan after a win, or an away fan.
Yeah, we stopped doing it after that.
We stopped doing it after, because he was just the most smuggest kid throughout the whole boat, and he's just like going, right, I've got you, and I've got you, and I've got you. But yeah, so him. But again, obviously, Chewy number one. His pod, lower league look. If anyone got any spare time, download that, have a listen. If you want to participate in it, he's more than welcome as well. Cracking lad.
Sorry, are you on his payroll as well now?
Yeah, no, yeah.
No, it's a pod, of course you're on it. I taking everything everybody has said, and again, we thank everybody who has appeared over the course of this season. We really do appreciate your time. But Liam, I think you have won the Be Our Guest award for this season, so congratulations to you. Next up, back to STFC specific awards, and it's the Best Harry McCurdy Outfit of the Year award has been requested. Now, again, there's probably an obvious vote here, but Ben, when I say best Harry McCurdy outfit, what springs out to you straight away?
The awards night, obviously. Yeah, when everyone goes over in their suit and tails and everyone's looking all prim and proper, McCurdy turns up in homemade trainers, a bucket hat and some sunnies and a white t-shirt and an oversized suit. You know, he was the centerpiece of the whole night, as per expected, because it's Harry McCurdy. And he pissed a lot of people off as well. We just talk about Liam. He was fuming. He was going, "That's so disrespectful." And I was going, "Yeah, it's Harry McCurdy." So yeah, that's the outfit that's got me. That and his pink slippers with the "Have a nice day" smileys on.
Do either of you gentlemen want to nominate an outfit other than the awards night?
Crocs.
Sorry?
Harry McCurdy wearing Crocs. It takes a special individual to pull that look off.
Absolutely. Sorry, Craig.
Yeah, I'd like to add what he was wearing when we signed him. His beginning of the season photo when he actually signed. He sat in the stands in shorts, bucket hat, like a sort of flowery, loud t-shirt. He looked like a football fan who just won a contract, you know, and bucket hat, of course. So yeah, and I was like, what the fuck have we signed there? You know, but yeah. I mean,
never ever judge a book by its cover.
No, I mean, I'm no Gok Kwan, don't get me wrong. So you know, but yeah, that was I was like thinking, Christ, but he's a character, isn't he? He wears what he wants, and that's
he wears what he wants. He wears what he wants. Ned, have you got any particular outfit that you want to nominate?
I mean, again, I'm not any sort of Gok Kwan as Chris.
You're looking dapper tonight.
Wow,
mighty fine.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, but I can't say that I've enjoyed any of his outfits. The only one I could possibly say that I enjoyed was when he dressed up as Harry Potter. For that team night out where in London, whenever that was. But yeah,
I think the iconic awards ceremony outfit is probably going to win this award. However, as a bit of a left field choice, I want to throw into the mix his holiday hair. What the fuck? It's all I'm going to throw into that. But there we go. So congratulations to the Football League Awards outfit for winning Harry McCurdy outfit of the season. Let's move on. There's just a few more awards. You'll be pleased to know that there's just a few more to get through, even though I can see Ned in particular is really enjoying awards night. Let's just fly through a couple more. Flag of the season. Every now and then there's a creative flag that catches people's eye. Has anyone spotted one this season they'd like to nominate for flag of the season? Craig's saying no, he's out of this one already. Mark's shaking his head. We've been requested for flag of the season, but not one flag has caught anyone's eye.
The flags in the town end against Port Vale in the playoffs looking quite good for the atmosphere.
I'm going to interrupt you here, Ben. Actually, just for a moment, can we class the return of the King Charlie Austin one as a flag? That sort of came out of nowhere.
Yeah, that came. It's a sort of like Tifo banner thing, isn't it, rather than a flag? But yeah, we'll go with that.
We're struggling for flags.
Still a flag.
Ned, any you'd like to nominate?
Well, Woody's just said, and I was about to say, the Alan McLaughlin flag. That was pretty special. But I mean, is that counting? Or
yes, for who it is and the sentiment behind it, absolutely.
Awesome. Yeah.
So Alan McLaughlin wins flag of the season. Photo of the year is next up. Now, this can be any sort of iconic Swindon photo, if you like. Anything that's caught your eye, either on social media or I can see Ned's thinking deep about this. Ben's all over social media trying to think what photos he's seen, moments on the pitch caught on camera maybe. I'm going to kick off with something a bit left wing. And
left wing?
Not like that, Ned.
All right. Okay.
I'm going to vote for the picture of friend of the pod, Oakus Road, sat at home after his ordeal in hospital. When he sent us the picture that he was home, and I was able to share that with the group, that was probably my photo of the season.
Yeah.
Now that I've gone, I've pulled at the heartstrings, does anyone want to nominate anything against a recovering Oakus Road photo of the season?
No.
Well, I was going to say something, but now.
No, go on, Ned. At least have a nomination.
Okay. Well, I was, like I said about Harry Potter, but when those players were pictured there in fancy dress, and you got Louis Reed. Oh, I mean, that's a picture you can't unsee, isn't it? But
Fifi, sorry, Ned, go on.
No, go on.
Yeah, Fifi, can I just add any generic Swindon Town football fan with a beard and glasses that looks like you, and any photo like that?
No, we're not doing this again, because for the best part of 3 months in the build-up and aftermath of our night out at Christmas, you lot were bombarding me with pictures of generic fat people with glasses and beards. It was ridiculous. So no, that nomination's been vetoed.
Oh, that was so funny.
So Woody, welcome back.
Smith.
Thank you.
Michael Smith, yeah.
Yeah. You've joined us for photo of the season, and you can choose between the 2 nominees. You've got the Swindon Town team at their Christmas fancy dress photo, or the picture that I was able to send round of a recovering Oakus Road after his ordeal in hospital. Which one wins photo of the season?
Oakus Road for me, I think.
Yes.
Just because he's a big fan of the show. But I was going to chuck another nomination in.
Oh, go on.
But it doesn't. It has to be the promo photo for the pizzas at halftime with our very own.
The one that Rich keeps.
Yes.
It's literally in it like every other week. It's just, and it's the same smile. Oh, well, it's not the same smile, it's the same photo, but it's just literally, you just know that Rich's face is just going to appear on the. They never took a photo. That photo is so good they didn't bother taking photos of any other winners.
The irony that Rich could win a free pizza when he could actually probably afford to buy pizza for everyone in his
Money goes to money.
What? That is a superb nomination, Woody. I'm afraid it's not going to win on this occasion. We're going to give Oakus Road the award for photo of the season.
Go on, Oakus Road.
Continue resting up, mate. Look forward to seeing you next season, all things being well. Just a couple left to do then, gentlemen. The distance travelled award. Have you seen any particular stories of Swindon fans going literally the extra mile this season? We're not talking just all of the fans that made their way. Actually, well, no, you could well mention all the fans that went to Hartlepool or Barrow, if you think that they're the ones that warrant the nomination. I'm going to nominate. We'll call them Fan A, who happened to end up in Gibraltar earlier this season after a night out, and the ordeals of Fan A getting back. But please, anyone who wants to nominate any other Swindon fans?
Fifi, I don't think I've got the heart to name another person, but yeah. It's been a good effort. Like the Tuesday night games have been really shit, haven't they? Like even places like Sutton and Exeter, they're not the easiest places to get to on a Tuesday evening. So I think just generally for the
Swindon away following generally.
Yeah, just generally, I think it's a good effort, and I think we pretty much topped the away following sort of attendance in the league. So yeah, I think just generally with our support, which we've said time and time again on the pod, has been absolutely outstanding.
Yeah, we've never called our fans out for anything. Mark?
I was going to say, I mean, he's obviously a fan and he's also our owner, but he does travel.
He's covered some miles this year.
Side of the world to come and watch us play. And he's been to some away games as well, as we all know, in with the fans. So I'm going to have to nominate our very own Clem Mulfooney for the award, I think, just on that alone.
Ben?
I think, yeah, Clem Mulfooney, Swindon fans in general. I've got a special place for Fan A. I think he deserves a special, it's like going to pick a place random, Gibraltar, it's crazy.
It's hot. It's hot though, isn't it? Gibraltar.
Yeah, it's hot there. It's hot, it's almost like you could get somewhere.
It's part Spanish, that's why.
It's part Spanish. Just like you can get a hotel. You go to Gibraltar and you can end up getting a hotel in Spain. It's mad, but yeah.
So Ned, I'm going to throw it over to you. It's a very tight vote, this, between Fan A, Clem Mulfooney, and Swindon Town's away following. Who gets the award? Who gets the distance travelled award?
Oh, I'd love for it to be Fan A, but it's got to be Clem, isn't it? Because he's travelled some serious distance. This was one instance that this Fan A travelled from point A to point
afford
B.
it though. Fan A can't.
That's the big difference.
I want to chuck another nomination in. Sorry, Fifi. Clem Mulfooney's wife. She travelled on the last one. Was it the last time he came over? And bearing in mind that they're in Australia where it's beautiful weather every day, and then she's coming over to us. I think she came to us when we had those absolute downpours as well. And the fact that I also saw her watching Clem play fucking five-a-side football with the fans, like for me, yes, Clem's done it many times. Come on, he's the owner. His wife has got to get some credit, surely, for the fact that she's travelled all.
Ned, are you happy if we divert the award to Mrs. Mulfooney?
Do you know what? That's the perfect answer, isn't it? I was just see if we can find her name, but I can't find it.
Mrs. Mulfooney.
I can't find it.
Dropped him in it.
Cleminda.
Cleminda.
Well, congratulations to Mrs. Mulfooney on your Fools Rush In award for distance travelled. Congratulations.
Fair play. Well done, Mrs. Mulfooney.
Next up, we've got irrelevant knowledge of the season. Has anyone shocked you with their ability to know something that they simply shouldn't know? I have someone I would like to nominate, but Mark, we'll start with you. Has anyone shocked you with any particular knowledge this season?
You might have to come back to me. I'll think about it. I'm sure I'll get prompts as you go around everyone else, but off the top of my head, not yet.
Okay, Craig?
Sorry, can you repeat the question again?
Has any supporter shocked you at any time this season with irrelevant knowledge that they really shouldn't know? And no, this isn't all the in the know accounts.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything, to be honest, mate. Yeah.
Okay. Ben?
Ned with the Ned report. His knowledge of Jerome Sinclair and all these Eastern European players and everything. And I didn't know anything about, was it that Oldham Pellegroni, whatever his name is.
Giorgiani,
him. I didn't know anything about him. I just thought he was against
Sam Pellegrino.
But he's brilliant.
Maldini.
I didn't know that.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
Okay. Ned, who would you like to nominate?
Well, I've got two.
Yes.
The first one will be my second place, in my opinion, and that's Ben, because he comes out with some wonderful knowledge. Most of it completely irrelevant, but some wonderful
You got to
knowledge.
see Sarah's reaction right there when you say wonderful knowledge. I'm going to use that.
Yeah, but remember, it's not all the
got a
time.
face
This
on
is
it.
just some bits, some pearls here and there. But the person this award surely has to go to is Joe Seymour for his Scottish football knowledge.
Well, you say this, but I'm going to take that and I'm going to do what Woody's done. I'm going to take your Joe Seymour and I'm going to raise you Mrs. Joe, who the first time we did the Friday night quiz, Joe smashed the Scottish football from nowhere. And then there was one question he couldn't get, and she just turns around and says, Dundee United. And that's the answer. So I'm going to say Mrs. Joe should win irrelevant football
Mrs.
knowledge
Joe.
of the season. So
done, Mrs. Joe.
congratulations to Mrs. Joe. She does have a name, by the way, but it's just
Mrs.
all of the ladies that are married or engaged or partnered up to the Fools Rush In panelists are just referred to as Mrs. Insert first name of panelist. Speaking of which, I've been asked to nominate a Fools Rush In wag of the season. Because everyone else is coupled up, and it would be unfair because they would obviously all just nominate their own partners.
I wouldn't.
Shots fired.
Mrs. Craig will not be happy. I will not have a bad word said about your wife. But for me, there can only be one winner. Pretty much every week, she sits in the background listening. She's always joining in post and pre-match with generally let's take the piss out of Ben content. So I think rightfully Sarah wins Fools Rush In wag of the season.
She's got so far in the Wagner, she gets her own name rather than Mrs. Ben.
Yeah.
That leaves
We're
us...
actually going to start calling you Mr. Sarah.
Yeah, we're going to call you Mr. Sarah.
Actually, that goes about right, actually.
And that leaves us with one final award, and it's for Content of the Year. Now, it doesn't have to be any of ours. It's not a pure shameless promotion episode from our part. I think, for example, the Tom Broadbent Lounge deserves massive nomination here as much as anybody.
That's number one, my man.
But I am going to pick something from our own pod, and I'm going to say primarily Woody, but I'm going to call it Woody and Rich's STFC Women's Weekly Roundup. It's helped broaden my knowledge. I know it's helped broaden a lot of other people's knowledge. It's helped people that send messages and replies to our episodes on social media are talking about it. They've asked, why did Woody not tell us where fixtures were this week? We've had questions like that. So I'm going to go for the weekly women's football roundup as our content of the season. Ben, who are you going to nominate?
Well, actually, what you said, the women's roundup, that's a fantastic shout and deserves it because that's almost a niche, something that we do. I think the Tom Broadbent Lounge has taken this season by storm. There's been loads of content this season. It's been fantastic, better than ever. And that's one thing that's come out the outside of COVID is that the content for football now is brilliant and online with all the podcasts and all the live chats and everything. Some Talk Broadbent Lounge is the one that's caught my eye this season. I think we've come on leaps and bounds. I love doing the show and I love all you guys. Are you
writing your own acceptance speech when you've been asked for a nomination?
Yeah, that's the one.
But no, thank you very much for the sentiment. Craig, who's caught your eye from a content perspective?
Well, yeah, like Ben said, there's been so much. We're quite lucky as a fan base to have all this content, and if you don't like one or two, there's at least going to be a couple of things that you probably would like. So I'm just going to blow my own trumpet here and say the STFC Assemble video. I think.
Oh yeah, content, Craig.
I loved putting that together, and I loved the reaction of the fan base when we
fact that we know that went round the changing room as well.
Yeah, they got recognition from Conroy, so that would have gone around the changing room.
Yeah, I think it was over, and every now and then I check the views we've got.
Of course you do. Of course you do.
And it's 5,000 plus, which is pretty cool. So,
yes.
Ned, who gets your nomination for content of the year?
God, there's
so much,
isn't there? But yeah, Women's Roundup is no one else does that. No one else. We're the only pod who does it, and between Rich. I would say Woody, but it's mainly Rich. It's because Woody can't remember half the fixtures. But yeah, we're the only guys who do that. So it's great that we stick that content out there. So fair play. Let's go with us.
Mark?
Yeah, well, I'm going to echo what everyone said with regard to Woody and Rich elevating the women's game as it rightfully should be. But I will caveat that. So for me personally, the standout piece of social media for me was the awards ceremony that the Sir Tom Broadbent Lounge did at the county ground. For me, and I fed this back to Hannah's and and Tyler, that it was very much like Soccer AM before Soccer AM got shit. It was very very early Lovejoy. Yeah, exactly. When it was all kind of a little bit like, the Big Breakfast when it first started, it was like a bit of a mishmash, and it was completely unscripted, and it was all good fun, and there was lots of good banter. It was very much like that, and I think we got a really good, honest reflection of who the players were. From that alone, and it was really engaging, and it was different. I mean, and this is where I'll take my hat off to everybody that's involved in the pods and the social media content for Swindon Town. Is each of us has a very different niche and area and expectations in terms of what you're going to get when you're watching it from the the official supporters club, and the fantastic job that Vic does.
Yeah.
Through to Tom Broadbent Lounge and the Low Strangers and our good selves. It's brilliant. It's all completely different. And who'd have thought you could have so many different channels and get a very different vibe and feel to the entertainment that you're hopefully getting from the experience.
I think it's important to say there, because most supporters get it, but even now there are still some that think everyone is trying to one up each other. That's not the case.
No.
Like you say there, we listen to Sir Tom Broadbent, we listen to the supporters club, we listen to Low Strangers, and we know that some of them listen to ours as well. It's just a different way of getting opinions across. At the end of the day, everyone that runs these things are Swindon fans. We're not trying to one up each other. We're all just trying to answer the same questions, just in a slightly different way.
Yeah, and everyone's incredibly articulate as well. With their responses, there's no kind of everything's a proper measured response, I guess, is the point I want to make. And it makes you challenge your own thoughts and opinions on certain pieces as well. And I think if content you listen to is making you think about your thoughts on a game or a situation and make it differently, and you take a different opinion to it, it's brilliant. I mean, that's exactly how it should be.
No, absolutely.
Well said.
Woody?
So two that I would have probably said have already been mentioned. The Sir Tom Broadbent Lounge Awards thing, definitely. I think the other reason behind that, apart from, like you say, the Soccer AM feel, was also how many pods actually managed to get arguably at least 3 of the best players in their team to be able to do that, and sit around and basically chat. And Hannah's did really well there, and his connections are good. But the one that, and it has been mentioned already, the one that came straight to my mind was blowing his own trumpet, Craig's video as well, because that just had me in absolute hysterics. It got recognised by the players. I know it got recognised by more than Dion Conroy as well. But in terms of something different, something that wasn't pod related, just content online, for me, it has to be that video.
Well, you've made it very, very difficult to pick a winner. I think in the interest of fairness and balance, we're going to award Content of the Year to the Sir Tom Broadbent Lounge for everything they've done this season, with both Craig's STFC Assemble and Rich and Woody's weekly women's roundup a very, very close joint second place. Superb all round by everybody.
Well done, everyone.
And that draws an end to the Fools Rush In Alternative STFC End of Season Awards. 21 awards given out tonight. I hope you agree with all of our choices.
Righty.
Yes.
Can I just make it 22?
You can make it 22 if you like. I've never stopped you before.
I know it's one that I sent to you, and I know you're not reading it out because I know the reason why you're not reading it out. But I want to award you a special award. I want to award you the Roy Castle Dedications What You Need Award. And it's a shared award between you and your son. So for you, for being an absolute legend on this podcast and being there for all of us, especially fan number one.
Fan A.
Fan A, that's it.
Fan
And you know, everything you've done for us, you know, the putting us together, you know, you being there, you know, week in, week out, and you've just been absolutely a pleasure to, you know, to get to know over the last season. So thank you very
Make it
much.
sound like I'm leaving.
No, but you deserve it, mate, and because you've done like, and also your son as well for his karate exploits, which sounded like that was some hardcore shit.
It most certainly was. Honestly, thank you. That means a lot. It's very very nice of you to say, and I'll be sure to pass on to Aidan when I see him tomorrow that he's won an honorary award. Listen, Ben, Craig, Ned, Woody, Mark, absolute pleasure as always. We hope you enjoy this episode. And next week we've got something a little bit of a different tone for you. Something a little bit more serious, a little bit more structured, a little bit more poignant. But we'll hope to kind of sprinkle it with our Fools Rush In essence as well. So we hope you'll be able to join us for that. We hope you've enjoyed this. From everybody here who was able to join tonight and who wasn't and is on holiday or elsewhere, thank you very much. Goodbye.